Kelly, my love, I love this. Do you love this? I love this, and I can't wait to talk about it. So let's jump in. But before we do, if you don't know who I am, my name is Riley X. I'm a professional astrologer, and this is called a roast or reading. The intention is to help you laugh at your wounds so you can feel more empowered by your personal astrology and no longer feel so imprisoned by it. If you are interested, you can book your own personal reading with me at rxtarot.com. Kelly, my love, let's jump in, starting with your rising sign. You are a Scorpio rising. This means Pluto and Mars are your chart rulers. Now, Placidus is a little bit messy, so these aren't exactly opposition, but it's very fascinating to me. Scorpio energy does oppose Taurus energy. So right off the bat, you have a little bit of like a seesaw in your chart. And for your Pluto to also be in Libra is very interesting because this means there's like a secret third Venus energy, just sort of like humming around the outside of all of this, with Taurus and Libra both being ruled by Venus. What is your Venus? Venus in Leo. Okay. So coming back to your first house, you have a pretty loaded first house. It may not seem like it, but the North Node holds so much weight, is pulling you into depth. It's pulling you into who am I, the depth of understanding yourself, wanting to know what purpose you hold, what is your life, who are you, right? The North Node in the first can be very overpowering, very overwhelming, very intense. However, it makes you somebody who is so connected and powerful. You have this ability to make things happen that other people may not necessarily be able to do. And then being ruled by your Mars adds to this. Being ruled by your Pluto adds to this, that depth of doing the things that you love, creating from a place of making things happen on a deeper level, making things happen on a daily basis. This energy is in the 6th house. This push to make things happen, this desire to be the one with your hands in the clay, to be the one to make things happen. I love this for you for a few reasons. This is in your 6th house. With Mars in the 6th, on a daily basis, you are grounded, you are getting things done, you are pushing yourself, you are making it happen. With your moon in Taurus also in your 6th house, you are a stable force that other people usually, they see you as somebody who's very grounding, who's very stable. The South Node also in Taurus is fascinating to me for the sheer fact that this grounding energy and this feeling of like, I have to be the one to keep it all together could potentially be the exact thing holding you back. So leaning back into your North Node in Scorpio is learning to trust those Phoenix moments, trusting when things are falling apart. That is not easy for a Taurus moon. That is not easy for a Taurus Mars, because you want to know what's going on. You want to keep it all together. This transit over the last couple of months of Uranus in Taurus has likely been very uncomfortable for you, where you don't know what's going on. You don't know the stability. You don't have like a surefire answer. It's asking you to let go and surrender and trust the Phoenix moment. Where are you being taken? There's a little bit of having to dive into the unknown. But with Scorpio, it's about trusting your personal power. Scorpio is secretly a bit of a workaholic, as well as Taurus can definitely lean into that as well. So pay attention to how much you're working, and if it's because you're trying to prove your worth. Secret little Capricorn energy in your 2nd house, this desire to prove your worth, prove what you know, prove that you really are worthy of the things you want. Neptune in the 1st is so deeply intuitive, and so you have this ability to tap into things that people don't understand where you got that from. Also, you're a dreamer, right? Neptune in the 1st, you have this ability to have a vision, to have this feeling and this trust of something that other people can't see. When you lean into that, there is so much power there. There is so much magic in that for you. Now, getting into your Mercury and Gemini, the way you have the ability to say so much. I'm a Gemini rising, I get it. You are chatty, you are talkative, you love a good conversation. You have this ability to also connect with other people. I feel like you're good at small talk. And when I say good at small talk, I don't mean surface level small talk. I feel like you're good at knowing what someone needs to hear, whether it's a random stranger, whether it's someone who just needs to have a lighthearted chat. It does make you feel safer to just sort of say something out loud. But I also think it's actually something, if somebody needs to hear something positive, if somebody needs to hear something uplifting, especially when it's your partner, especially when it's somebody who you're close with, you know what to say, you know how to get to them, for better or worse, depending on how that Scorpio rising is feeling. Using this to your benefit is going to be having a mind for business is another thing that just came to mind. The 7th house is also partnerships. So your mind and the way you think about things is always about the duality of things, the as above, so below. Like, what is this benefiting us? Is this working for both of us? The ebb and the flow. Now, I don't want to skip all of this over here, so let's come back. Your 5th house is about your creativity, your creation, what you want to bring into this world, what brings you joy and fulfillment. So for Jupiter and Chiron to be here, you are in your Chiron return, my love. You are in a place of finally letting go of what has been holding you back from that true expansion you've been searching for your whole life. Please let your light shine. Please go out there and shine your light. Do the things that inspire you, that make you excited. Do the things that light you up inside. Let yourself experience true expansion of self and heal from these wounds as you're doing it. Now, Jupiter expands everything it touches, right? So Chiron, to be so close to your Jupiter, you have to learn that the wounds of self, the wounds of how people have seen you, of how you've seen yourself, of what has held you back in the past, that is all resistance that can be moved through. It's not meant to keep you there forever. Chiron is the key. That's why it looks like a little key. It is the key to unlocking your chart. So the more you tap into your creativity, the more you express yourself, the more you will heal from this wound. So this is a wound of self-identity, self-expression, believing that you can actually do it for yourself. Saturn is moving into Aries this year, and I think that's going to help you understand where you've been creating restrictions, but you may have to push through those boundaries a little bit. So you can do this. This is a time to create actual structures around your creative endeavors, around the things that fill you up, that are fulfilling to you. Now, Venus in Leo in the 9th is so interesting. Your Venus placement is how you attract, right? It's how you pull things in. Having your Venus in Leo is really a beautiful energy. There's this feeling of being able to connect to what you desire, how you want to do things. In the 9th house, it's all about connecting to your deeper desires. It's about connecting to your leader qualities. How can you show up as a leader? Maybe in a spiritual community, maybe in your own spiritual practice, or a leader of knowledge, a leader of wisdom. You have a lot of wisdom that may not be easy for you to understand. You may have gotten this wisdom through personal life experience, and you may not think it's that valuable to others. It is. Pluto is in your 3rd house. Any fears of speaking up and sharing your experience, it is your turn to move through that. It is your turn to move through those fears, those wounds, those feelings of whatever you're saying not being good enough. We need to hear from you. We need to understand what this really means. You are meant to be a leader. You are meant to shine by sharing your knowledge. Virgo midheaven. This is screaming teacher, writer, maybe speaker, but usually Virgo doesn't really like to be the center of attention. So Virgo is more about the mastermind behind it all. So this is where I think this is very interesting. Part of fortune in the 10th. Ooh. Where is your Saturn at? Right next to your sun. So my question to you is, as a Cancer sun, Cancer Saturn, do you feel like a Capricorn? Do you feel like when you hear things that people say about Capricorns that resonates with you? I feel like you might. And the reason is Cancer is the opposition. It's the opposing energy. But Cancer is still very cardinal. It's very focused on moving forward, on creating change, on doing things that really are beneficial and helpful to not only themselves, but others. And then Saturn is so much restriction on your emotions, restriction on being too sensitive, restriction on self. With your sun being so close to your Saturn, there can be a little bit of a block on being able to really lean into expressing yourself fully. Now, where this is so interesting is this is the 8th house, okay? With the 8th house, it's about other people's energy. So you may have had financial success, especially with Saturn, through working with other people, doing things for other people. Other people may have just given you money for whatever reason. Or you can feel restricted by how much you have to help others. And with this being Cancer energy, I feel like this is probably likely more so the case. But once you understand that you're actually meant to be leaning into your tools, your unique ability to help people heal, help people feel safe, help people express themselves. You yourself are likely very grounded, but I feel like you are so sensitive to other people's emotions. I feel like you're somebody who's very receptive. You're a great listener. You know how to make people laugh. You know how to make people feel a little bit more lighthearted. And I honestly think one of your biggest gifts is the way that you have been through it so you can help others heal from it, go through it as well. So I'm not sure what you do for career, but I feel like on a deeper level, when you learn to work with the wounds that you have personally experienced, it not only helps you create something that you can enjoy, experience, and love, but it helps you create something that's useful and helpful to others as well. I honestly love your chart, Kelly. I really hope this is helpful. Please let me know if you have any questions. And if you are not Kelly, but you would like to book a session with me, you can check me out at rxtarot.com. Thank you so much. Bye.